Hello and good evening to Kennedy and Simon. Simon, welcome to our interview session for integrity and anti-corruption subject. Today we are going to interview Simon, an athlete in UTP. So, Simon, can I know your full name and your role in UTP sports? For example,
My
if you are
name
an athlete,
is sorry.
can I know your full name and your
Name,
role in
role.
sport?
Oh, full name and role. All right. My name is Simon Wilong Karel, and my position in EDP, I've been an athlete, and I've been a club president once. Yeah, for the athletics sport, track and field.
Okay, thank you. Now, in your own word, can you give a simple definition of what does playing with integrity means to you?
For me, playing with integrity in any sports, don't care what type of sport, e-sport or physical sport, um, playing with integrity is um, staying with the rule, following the rule, and any kind of cheating, whether it is exploiting the rule or using forbidden forbidden drugs or stuff to enhance your performance, that is uh, doesn't show integrity in sport. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Alright. Thank you, Simon, for the brief introduction and your simple perspective on what playing with integrity means. Now let's move on to the part two of our interview, which is the common forms of cheating. So you mentioned that you were once an athlete and president of what club again?
Track and field club.
Track and field club in UTP, right? So I'm pretty sure you have been to a lot of competitions before.
Yes.
So my question is, in UTP sports event, which of these is the most common form of cheating you see in sports? Among match fixing or intentional rule breaking?
Uh, for my experience, for the past 4 years, the most common that I've seen is the match fixing. Yes, the match fixing to ensure that they can win the tournament.
So do you see this kind of match fixing cheatings in just track and field or multiple sports?
Yeah, I've seen it in multiple sport, especially e-sport that have been done in UTP.
E-sport. All right. But it also applies to physical sports, I assume, not just
Yes,
esports.
yes.
I see. All right. Moving on. On a scale of 1 to 10, how often do you think cheating happens in student sports competition? Doesn't matter, maybe in UTP or other uni, or maybe you've been to competitions that is between universities. How often do you think student cheats on a scale of 1 to 10?
I don't know about other people, but as far as from now, from my experience, I do experience a lot of cheating, whether in UTP or external tournament. So I will give maybe 8.
Right.
Yes,
So you also mentioned that you have 4 years of participating in sports competition, right?
yes.
So in those 4 years, you've witnessed a lot of cheatings, and on a scale 1 to 10, you give it an 8 lah. All right. Thank you. So for part three, I will pass to Andrew.
Okay, thank you. Now, our next question would be, what is the biggest reason students cheat? Is it the pressure to win or a financial incentives or any other reason for them to cheat in sports?
For my experience, it is more like they want to have the win and to have the fame for winning the competition. Yeah.
Okay. So, do you think teammates have a strong influence on whether a player chooses to cheat or no?
For me, teammate, no. It depends on the person itself, whether if that person want to cheat, so they cheat lah. For my
Mm,
experience, the first, the only thing that affects the person that what if you want to cheat is, for my in case lah, it is the medal, because the medal doesn't affect the other teams. The teams. It only affect to the person itself. Usually individual events, the meter, it doesn't affect other person.
uh,
So basically, yeah,
so you're saying from a perspective for a sport which you participated individually, lah, not as playing as a team, right?
yeah. For a team, back then in my high school, for a team sport, I would say yes.
Uh,
Yeah. If a if the person in that team likely to cheat, so more likely the team will also cheat in the tournament.
I see. So aside from UTP, before entering UTP, I assume you also join. You're also active in sports in your high school. Yes.
Yes.
Since since of in total, how many years have you been active in sports?
Active in sport, high school, my primary school, total like 14 years, 15 years.
Which, all right, I see. What a amazing experience in sports.
Yes, yes.
All right. Uh, to add to the questions asked by Andrew just now, you also mentioned that you were once a president for the athletic clubs in UTP, right?
Yes. True.
So while managing the team as a president, do you think your decision affects how the team adapt, the entire club responds to cheating?
Yes. For me, because as the person at the top of uh, the board, other your other subordinates will choose to follow what you do. So basically, if you make a wise decision and do do decision with integrity, maybe your subordinates will have integrity in themselves. Yes.
I see. I agree with that. All right. Let's now move to the part four of our interview, which is about the impact of cheating. So my next question is: do you agree that when one person cheats in a sport competition, it affects the fairness of the entire competition for everyone? And in
Yes.
simpler terms, uh, when somebody cheats in a competition, only one, does it affect uh, the overall competition?
For me, yes, because usually if only one person cheat, it will ruin the fun of the match, and it will ruin the mood of everyone because everyone think it is not fair. Because
Uh,
other person will can win also if they use the same tactics. If they cheat, yeah, everyone can win if they cheat.
yeah, I see. All right. So you agree that when one person cheats, it ruins the competition in
The
terms of
fairness.
the how people enjoy and how people, I guess, also look at the competition. Is it?
Yes.
All right. So next questions about public trust. So in previously you mentioned that you seen a lot of cheatings in ETP, in sports and physical sports. So being a student in ETP and for 4 years, does seeing someone cheat in a UTP event, doesn't matter whether it's a student from UTP or a student from other unis, does seeing them cheat makes you lose trust in the organizers or the institution? In this case, UTP.
Uh, yes, because as a organizer, they should organize the event with full integrity, and thus and they can't favor any maybe their friends or their lover or what. Because I've experienced that many times.
So it does make you uh, lose. It does makes the apa the organizers of the sports lose credibility lah.
Lose credibility to
Alright,
organize the
alright.
event.
So then from that, it is true that when someone cheats in a competition, it doesn't just it also affects the reputation of the organizer, is it?
Yes, true.
I see. All right. That's all for part four. For part five, I'll pass it to Andy once again.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Now, for my next question would be, do you think UTP organizer needs stricter enforcement of rules to stop cheating?
Hmm, for UTP, I think uh yes, but we need also look at the because the person who joining the tournament. They also if the rule is stricter but the participant who join it still want to cheat, yeah, they will find a way. They will find a way.
Okay, so would having more integrity education programs during sport events help students play fairer?
Yes. Uh, back to what I said. This will help the participant to understand what 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 it means by playing with integrity, so it would not ruin other participants' experience on joining any tournaments.
Okay, so do you think activities like this, Walkabout, help you reflect more on the consequences of cheating?
Yes, I agree.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Uh, thank you for the answers for part five. Moving on to part six, conclusion, which is and also the last questions of our interview. It's a self-reflection for you. For you yourself as an athlete and also uh, uh, who used to be a president of a sports club, and with your vast amount of experience in sports lah. In the end, for you, is it more important to win the trophy, but with illegal ways of playing, with cheatings, or to be a credible and respectful athlete, although it might means that you won't be achieving the result
winning.
or the trophy that you desire.
Yeah. For me, the sweet taste of victory does not lie within the medal or the trophy itself, but the what is the result of your training, of your efforts, that what matters the most. So when so for like me, I don't care if I don't win, but if my training, if my efforts produce result that makes me better from my past participations, for my past record, yeah, I will be happy now.
I see. What? Uh, yeah, lah, after so many years in sports, what a way to describe your feeling in sports.
Yes.
And I can really see your love and passion for sports. So that will be concluding our interview for Integrity in Sport. Once before we end our interview, I just want to say thank you to our interviewee, Simon Bilong and also Andre for assisting me in this interview. So that's the end of our interview. I hope you all have a great day, great weekends ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
You.
Hi, Assalamualaikum and good evening. My name is Afzarina Mirzani and with me today is Fatin Nabila. So we will start our interview session. Can you please introduce your name and what is your role in UTP Sports?
Hi, so my name is Farah Shafika, and I am the manager for the ladies captain team at UTP.
All right, thank you. So what can I call you?
You may call me Farah.
Okay, Farah. Hi, Farah. So our first question, in your own words, what does playing with integrity means to you?
So, in my opinion, playing with integrity means that we compete with honesty, respect the rules, and also show good sportsmanship, even when no one is watching our way of doing the activities.
All right, thank you. So my next question is, usually in UTP sport event, which is the most common form of cheating you see? Usually, such as is it match fixing or intentional rule breaking?
So, in my opinion, in student sport event, technically, usually students will intentionally break the rules than match fixing. So, it's more common in breaking the rules.
All right, I understand. Now let's say in scale of 1 to 10, how often do you think cheating actually happens in student sport competition?
So, I will rate it around 3 out of 10 because it happens occasionally, but most students still try to play fairly during the game.
I see. So, in your opinion, what is the biggest reason students cheat? Is it pressure to win, financial incentives, or maybe lack of moral awareness?
I think the main reason is that they have the pressure to win, especially during competitive tournaments.
Hmm. So, do you think maybe teammates have a strong influence on whether a player choose to cheat?
Yes, teammates can actually has a strong influence on whether a teammate will cheat on that game or not. So if the team promote fairness and honesty, players are more likely to follow the rules.
I see. So, in your opinion, Farah, do you agree that one person cheating ruins the fairness of the entire competition for everyone?
Yes, I do agree on that statement because cheating by one person can affect the fairness of the whole competition and make it unfair to the other teams.
Okay, let's say you as a manager yourself, does seeing someone cheat in a UTP event make you lose trust in the organizers or the institution?
Especially, yes, it can reduce trust in the event, especially if the situation is not handled properly by the organizer itself.
Okay. So do you think UTP needs stricter enforcement of rules to stop this cheating?
In my opinion, it's a yes. UTP do need to strengthen their enforcement of rules, and clear penalties can help to discourage cheating in sports competition.
Do you think would having more integrity education program during sport event help student play fairer?
I would say it does help because stricter enforcement, uh, yes, because stricter enforcement and clear penalties, this integrity education program can help students to manage, to understand their rules, the rules in the event. So it does help to reduce the penalty, the rule breaking in sport event.
Okay, thank you. We still have two other questions. Okay, the last two. The first is that do activities like Walkabout help you reflect more on the consequences of cheating?
Yes, this activity will help to raise awareness and encourage students to think about the impact of cheating in sport events.
Okay, thank you, Fasha. Now will be the end of our session, the question. So in the end, is it more important to win the trophy or to be credible and respectful athlete?
So, in my opinion, being a credible and respectful athlete is more important than just winning a trophy because integrity and sportsmanship last longer than a victory itself.
I see. Well, thank you, Farah. Since all the questions have been asked for our interview, thank you for attending the interview for us tonight.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you, Fasha.
Thank you. Wait, dah start record ke?
Dah tengah record? Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. First of all, thank you, Mr. Amir Ashraf, for joining us today. So, today we are going to conduct an interview about integrity in sports. So, we will start directly to make the session quick. So, first of all, what is your name and your role in UTP Sports?
Okay, so my name is Amir Ashraf Biranjul Nasri, and I am the current president slash manager of UTP Drillers Rugby Club in UTP.
Alright. In your own words, what does playing with integrity means to you?
In my own words, playing with integrity means that playing with honesty. It doesn't mean that playing with honesty for me is playing with the rules that have been given or set by the tournament organizer, by the referee, and play with sportsmanship.
I see. Alright. So we are going to the next part, which is common form of cheating. In UTP sports event, which of these is the most common form of cheating you see? Is it match fixing or intentional rule breaking?
Is this is in UTP or anywhere else?
In UTP only, UTP
Okay.
sports event.
So for me, in UTP, the common type of cheating that I seen before is intentionally rule breaking. Because
Okay.
or do I need to state the reason or
You can. Of course you
okay.
can.
because up to this day, I have been officiating around 3 or 4 major tournaments in UTP. And then most of them, I see that they tried to bring another player that are not qualified, such as DPSS. They are three. The contingent that is involved is flamethrowers. They tried to bring another player from civil engineering department and so on lah macam tu.
All right.
And then
So, do you want to continue?
no.
All right. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how often do you think cheating happens in student sports competition?
I would say 7.
Inside ETP?
Inside ETP, yes, because sometimes the students is not does not care about the rules because they just want to have fun among themselves, which I see lah.
All right. So, we are going to proceed with the next part, which is why cheating occurs. So, what is the biggest reason students cheat? Do you think it's pressure to win, or financial incentive, or a lack of moral awareness?
For me, it is wait, what are the options again? The first one.
The first one is pressure to win.
Okay. So for me is pressure to win and lack of morality. Because pressure if you join a tournament under UTP, most of them most of them have the urge to win the tournament and the urge to bring their names up lah. I mean to roast their names. And then for me it doesn't mean that if you want to win, it doesn't allow you to cheat. And Nish, aku rasa aku kena record lagi sekali lah sebenarnya. Aku rasa macam mengarut lah jawapan aku yang ni tu. Actually lah. Sebab dia macam tak, aku tahu apa nak cakap tau, tapi aku tak jumpa ayat aku dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Kau boleh stop dulu recording.
Sorry Mirul mengambil masa kau sahur.
Tak apa. Dia macam ni. Kita Sekejap. Okay, alright. Okay. What is the biggest reason student cheat? Is it pressure to win, financial incentive, or a lack of moral awareness?
Okay. So for me, it is pressure to win and then lack of morality. The pressure to win for me is by means for me is they have the urge to win and then they try to cheat, such as in UTP we have for rugby we have UTP 10 side or UTP 7 side, and I make a rule that only around 2 or 1 national players only that can be allowed in one team to play in the tournament. And then there are some teams that try to rig the game or try to break the rules by bringing more than more than I said lah. And then lack of morality when they aku tak jumpa ayat dia. Okay. Dia macam kalau kau nak menang and kau sanggup buat apa je yang kau nak menang. Faham tak? Kau abaikan sportsmanship kau, kau main kotor. So pada aku lah, pressure to win and lack of morality ni macam berkait.
Alright, I see. Okay, the next question is, do you think teammates have a strong influence on whether a player chooses to cheat?
For me, it is, but not all of them. Maybe there are some people that these are related to the first question lah. When a player, when the teams has the pressure to win, and then one player insisted on trying to cheat to win the tournament, and then the influence will be spread around, but not that big, because there are some certain players that still have integrity in them.
I see. All right. The next part is about impact of cheating. Do you agree that one person cheating ruins the fairness of the entire competition for everyone?
Yes, I think so, because I agree with that statement, because imagine in one situation that a team can win by points, but because of the team they are playing with is cheating, and then they lose the game. I mean, the team that is cheating won, but the team that lose the game because of cheating too, they have a fair fight lah. I mean, if the team tak cheat, they should won the game, and then that can ruin the whole tournament or competition punya flow. Faham tak?
I get it. Next, does seeing someone cheat in UTP event make you lose trust in organizer or institution?
For me, no, because cheating is a choice, is a choice made by a person. It's not that the tournament organizers or the institution tak buat rules ke apa, but they chose to cheat. So it's not tournament organizers or institution fault.
Okay. We are moving to the next part, which is solutions and prevention to cheating. Do you think UTP needs stricter enforcement of rules to stop cheating?
For me, the rules of a tournament is strict enough. But if they if they increase uh, if they increase their level of strictness, is if they change the rules to become more strict lah kan, it doesn't mean that a person cannot cheat pun, sebab as I said earlier, cheating is a choice made by a person.
All right. Next question is, would having more integrity education programs during sports events help students to play fairer?
For me, yes, because this type of events can help the person to change their mindset to not cheat anymore lah. For me.
All right. Last question of this part. Do activity like this, which is the interview, help you reflect more on consequences of cheating?
Yes, because if this type of interview can help me reflect and remind of myself to interview macam ni lah Nisha. Interview macam ni actually bagus lah, sebab dia boleh buat aku flashback balik semua apa yang aku pernah lalu, and then aku boleh ingat balik why aku choose not to cheat during the tournament.
Alright.
Macam tu lah.
So the last question for this interview, is it more important to win the trophy or to be a credible and respectful athlete?
For me, it is more important to win a tournament as of drillers lah, because UTP drillers has a reputation that we have to increase lah, because any tournament that we join, the UTP management expect us to win the tournament. But it is also important to play with credibility and play with honesty. So that's why I encourage my players to play the tournament with full of sportsmanship spirits in them. It doesn't matter that if we cannot win, if we didn't manage to as if we didn't manage to capai apa yang UTP expect, but it is important for me that we play with honesty. We play according to rules. We didn't cheat in our plays, macam tu lah.
Alright. That's all for the interview today. Thank you, Mr. Amir Ashraf, and hope to see you again.
Okay. Thank you, Danish. Thank you, Amirul.
Dah start Amirul? Oh, tak gambar, tak gambar.
Oh, okay. Ya, aku kena, okay.
Dah belum? Alright. Baik dah, baik dah.
Tapi kan, kalau aku jujur dengan kau kan, kau pun pernah tengok coach.
You orang nak tunggu siapa-siapa lagi ke?
Tak ada.
Okay. Alright,
Tapi
boleh.
saya kena conduct meeting ni dalam English
Okay, you will record the sessions ke?
Yes.
Oh, you tak bagi saya preempt questions dulu awal-awal.
Tapi questionnya simple je.
Okay, boleh. Alright.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. First of all, thank you Puan Helena for spending some of your time for us today for the interview. So our topic for interview today is integrity in sports. I've divided the interview into 6 parts. So each part consists of maximum of 2 questions only. Okay. Okay. First of all, can you introduce yourself and briefly explain about your role in UTP Sports?
Okay, all right. Thank you, Danish. I think first of all, thank you for reaching out to me, all right, for this interview session, especially when we talk about integrity in sports. All right, so some details about me. Okay, I'm Helena binti Ahmad Kamil. I've been in UTP for about 20 years. This year marked my 20 years. I've been in student affairs department I think more or less about 10 years. So my roles in sports and currently my role is actually leading the talent enrichment office. So under my portfolio will be the sports and recreation unit, arts and culture, as well as co-curriculum programs. So I think do you want me to explain on, an experience in sports or?
Of course you can.
I
If you
get
have any.
Yeah, okay. I'm graduated from UiTM with a bachelor's in or degrees in sports management. So basically, I'm specialized in terms of sports management. But when I joined UTP, I'm looking after the co-curriculums, but I don't have the opportunities to lead the sports and recreations. But however, throughout my tenure, when I've been promoted, so therefore, I think back in 2018, so I have been trusted to lead the sports units, arts, and also co-curriculums. So that is where I specifically involved directly in terms of inculcating the healthy lifestyles, promoting sports and recreation activities in UTP lah. Right, so that's about me, Danish.
All right. For the next question is, in your own words, what does playing with integrity means to you?
All right, playing with integrity. This is in the context of sports, I believe. So, integrity is a very big word, across our daily lives as well. Even though I think starting from our when we, early morning when we wake up, also is actually all about our integrity, our responsibilities. But when we talk about sports, playing in sports with integrity, one thing is that one thing you have to be a professional, in terms of sports. One thing is about professionalism, where professionalism comes into your credibility, honesty. When you play with integrity, meaning you don't cheat here. Some of the tournaments, I just give you some examples. Some of the tournaments, they have some requirements. For example, only registered students who can play, and for example, only amateur, which is, not listed as national players and so on. So as simple as following rules and regulations shows the integrity of a student or of an athlete in the sports, right? So that reflected as well on the in terms of professionalisms when the athlete plays on court. So when you played in integrity, meaning that you uphold all the values that been given to you as an athlete. Okay, so I believe playing the integrity shows your professionalisms, your integrities, I mean, your credibility as an athlete. Because when you go out there to represent, you might be representing your states, your universities, and end up you are actually bringing names. And if it's not a big organizations, at least you are representing yourself. So as an athlete, you must show the very best attitudes, integrity, and I believe professionalism as well.
Great. Okay, now we go on for the second part, which is common forms of cheating. For you, in
Come
your
again?
experience,
Come again? The
common
question.
common forms of cheating. All right. So the question is, if you ever seen in UTP sports event, which of these is the most common form of cheating you see? Is it match fixing or intentional rule breaking?
Oh, common cheating.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think UTP students are very good and they have a very high integrity. Uh, I can say like a common and I think in incidents where we caught a students cheating, especially in sports, is I can just give you an examples, perhaps like UTPSS. For example, if the students are entitled to play only 3 games, but they registered for 4 or 5 games, that's one of it. And then, but it's very rare to find that cases. If you really have the manpower that check clearly one by one, then we will caught that kind of students. But it's very rare. But it happens. Another point of view is perhaps kind of cheatings in terms of I mean in this context is only in UTP or is actually externally
in UTP only.
in UTP. So apart from that, wow, I think I can't think of any because we never caught students cheating in terms of playing representing others. For example, if you're playing for chemicals and suddenly you're playing for mechanical team, so that kind of cheatings I've never come across that. I think yeah, the most common is only like you're not supposed to play more than certain numbers of games, but you played more than that, so that's one of it. In terms of cheating, in the play, I mean, while they're playing, is actually nothing is intentional. For example, footballs is not cheating, but tends to do injuries and so on. Is sometimes is it does not comes intentionally lah, and it is not false under cheating. But sometimes they refer it as a tactic. Injury time. So it's actually a kind of a strategy for the teams lah. So if in the broader perspective of a cheating, in context of UTP, I can't give you much examples, but the one that I just mentioned to you earlier, that's one of it that I can say.
I see. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how often do you think cheating happens in student competition?
Um, from 1 to 10, okay, if you're referring to UTP, perhaps about 2 out of 10. Yeah. But in realities outside there, for example, in the bigger scales of tournaments, like we have Majlis Sukan Institut Swasta, which is
Mahasiswa.
competition. Yeah, mahasiswa is a competitions within the IBTS institutions. The cheating can goes up to 4 out of 10. So the frequencies of cheating is a bit higher more because the intent, what we call that, the game frequencies are a bit higher compared to the levels of universities. That one, if is like a national levels of events, so they are pushing factors that push the institutions to, or the athletes to go and do cheatings. But again, that is the roles of the officers and also institutions, because each registrations, they need to have the signature of their sports officer, so that integrity comes into the picture as well. But in campus, we actually also apply the same thing. We do have the registration form. So registration form is the forms that we try as much as possible to minimize that cheatings and also any discrepancies in terms of athletes' data related to competitions.
Okay. Now we move on to the next part, which is why cheating occurs. So,
Why cheating occurs?
why
Mm.
cheating occurs? What is the biggest reason students cheat? Is it pressure to win, financial incentive, or lack of awareness from your
Okay,
point of view?
right. That's quite a tough question. All right, the reasons for cheating, one thing is because the winning, the pushing factor to win. Because most of the competitions, if you see the award pricing or the prize, sometimes it's just about, they only gain medals, and if you cash money, the price is not that big. But pushing factors to win is one of the things that make them comes with the cheating. Um, Other than that, I think second will might be comes because of the uh pressures. Sometimes the pressures from the peers, from the teams, so that can also become the push factor that they do the cheatings. And then comes into might be the monetary or the medal, the winning prize, and also the winning tokens that they want and after for. Most of it, if you ask me, is basically the push factor is that they want to win. That's it. Even the competition does not give you any monetary values, but they want to, because the spirit of a competition is always about winning.
Yeah,
So
I
winning is one
agree.
of it to them. Mhm.
All right. The next question. Do you think teammates have strong influence on whether a player chooses to cheat?
Yes, indeed. Um, Teammates plays very important roles. Because I think now, especially when young students, they're always referred to their peers. So peer pull factors from the peers and also peers influence can actually brings a very positive and also negative influence to them. So I think one of the things that can help to reduce the number of cheatings is actually support from the teammates. And also I can say the um Awareness, yes, it do helps, but we need to prioritize in terms of giving them the knowledge why. So it comes from the awareness, definitely, to give why, important to have integrity in sports, because and end up is actually reflected to the individuals and the names of the organizations that you bring. So um peers definitely will comes into the pictures that help the students, give positive talks to their peers. And then sometimes when your peers talk to you and also influence you, you might change your decisions, and then you might have some like a bit shy, to do that some things, ataupun they will be fear of doing it because someone reminds them on the serious punishments that you might face if you doing this. And then the punishments are also the impact will not only goes to you alone but to the whole team as a whole. So peers definitely comes into very important in influencing the decisions making, especially when they do teach cheatings.
Okay, we go on for the next part, which is impact of cheating.
Mhm.
So the question is, do you agree that one person cheating ruins the fairness of the entire competition for everyone?
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, definitely, it's not about you, especially is if an athletes, whether it's an individuals or the teams, you must somehow you are representing some things like you. For example, university, UTP, when you go out there and compete, you are bringing the names of universities, even though it's an individual, even though it's a team, but you tarnish the names of universities. So the impact of cheating is very big, whether it's to the individuals, or it can also reflect it to the teams as a whole, and also universities as a bigger, or at the very big scale. So it's not only tarnish individuals but also tarnish the whole teams. The motivations of the other players will go down, and then people after this, even though you are coming with the very, with the clean sheets and everything, but people still have a stigma that, you know, you might be good because of cheating. So the implications not only during the tournaments, but also after the tournaments. And it might be dragged for 2, 3 years and so on, because people will remember that. So the implication is big, not only tarnish reputations, individually, the teams, institutions, but also future implications as well, not to the teams that current that or doing the one that doing the mistakes, but also to the future or the juniors that representing universities also will feel the heat of the punishments that the seniors or also the former teams get because of this cheatings, punishments.
I see. So it also include the public trust, right?
Public trust, yes, indeed, correct. And
Okay,
perhaps
we
another thing is that the when it occurs once, so might be the public as well, like when you enter the tournaments for the second, I mean for the future, they might have a thorough check to the teams because of they have a bad experience with the teams previously. So that's actually the can influence the decision making, and then some of the organizers might also block or deny the teams to participate because of this incident. For your info, if like in organizations, for example in Mahasiswa, if you caught cheatings or there's a protest and the protest won, the teams will be barred or also banned for at least 2 years. So the implication is not only for the current team, as I mentioned, but also future teams, because they've been banned for 2 years not to be played, in that competition. So, yeah, the implication is very big.
okay. So we are moving on the next part, which is solution and prevention to cheating. So, do you think UTP needs a stricter enforcement of rule to stop cheating?
Um, I don't believe. It's not like how I'll put this. Yeah, I think. is actually integrity is the values that should be instilled deep down you, individually. It's not something that you craft or designed. It should be something that you practice. So in terms of solutions, or to reduce number of cheatings, one thing is not only about awareness on the values, but also to instill it inside the students and make them practice, not only during their, when they engage in the tournaments, but also during their daily life. Once you woke up, integrity towards, when going to class, be punctual, doing assignments, all those actually creates the values. And I think indirectly it shapes you as a human being to be more with the high values, which reduce all those or the negative things that make you think to do cheatings, or to do other bad things. So a solutions for it is wanting to instill those values, start from the day once you, not only in UTP, but during your, at your house, exactly, with your parents, with your families, your siblings, your friends, and towards the university. So instill that values inside you, and make sure that the values is practiced not only certain times, but throughout your daily life, and so that you will find it is part of your life, and doing bad things is something that it is, something big, and which is something that you won't do if you have a very high values on that.
Okay. So now we have come to the final part of the interview.
Mm.
So, on your point of view as a manager in student affairs, or from your previous experience as an athlete, is it more important to win the trophy or to be a credible and respectful athlete?
Mm. Wow. Very good questions. Um, at the point of us here at Student Affairs, achievement is something that we are looking for. The we call it a return on investments, ROI. So when we invest to the teams, definitely we want something in return, which is, the results. But that is not only the one thing's measurements that we look into. As in student affairs or in the talent enrichments, the most important thing that we look into is actually the developments of the students. That's why if you see UTP students or UTP athletes, we are keep sending them for competitions outside there. One thing definitely is to send them for winning is one thing, but to compete and also gain the experience is the most important thing. So I've always asked and also inform my students is that when you go out there, do your best. Winning or losing is another set of things, but the journey towards it, is the most important things that we look after, because that journey creates the resiliences in you, develop your mental strength, and also able to cope with pressure inside the tournament or inside the rings. That is the most important thing that we want from the students. So for me, if you say that winning, definitely I want winning as a result, but the most important thing is that the journey, and I want the students to go out there, represent universities with the pride of universities, with the logos on their chest, bring the pride to the ground, place as their best, and then pray. If we do best and we do our, the ultimate, and also with the training and proper, inshallah the results will be there, right? So I think that's what I believe, and I always told my students, winning is one thing, but do it properly. I am so far, alhamdulillah, I think we never encountered any cheatings outside there that make people come and protest UTP, because we want the very best names of UTP. So when we go out there, UTP name is always on top, and we want to portray our best athletes at the ground there. Even We have a very, to compete with Malaysian athlete. For example, if we went to Sukips, all the opponents are all the Malaysian players, for examples. But our students are there to compete. They are not afraid, they are there to compete, but with a very high integrity. That's what the most important things. Yeah.
All right. So that's the answer concluded this interview today. So thank you very much, Puan Helena, for entertaining us today.
All right. So Danish,
Now,
I hope I've answered your questions according to what you want.
yeah,
So it's a really interesting topic that you brought up, integrity in sports. So I wish you and your teams the very best.
I mean, inshallah, okay. Puan, can we take a picture together?
Okay, sure.
Ideal, tolong.
Okay,
This is
ready?
for your MPU project, yeah.
Yeah, MPU3.
MPU. Oh, integrity. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, again. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Okay.
So berapa orang for the MPU3 punya assignments ni?
Assignments ada 7. Tapi kami macam pecah-pecahkan lah sebab interview orang yang beza.
But everything is in sports, integrity in sports. Or they
Yeah.
have a different.
Same topic.
Oh, siapa lagi you all
But-
interview?
Setakat ni Puan Helena orang first lah. Tapi dalam list ada beberapa students lagi macam club presidents, UTP athletes.
Okay.
We try to take different point of view.
Okay, very good. All right, so I'm wishing you the best. All right.
Thank you, Puan Helena.
Thank you. Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.
Assalamualaikum.
Salam.
Selamat berbuka puasa.
Same to you too.
Okay. Aku start ikut.
So.
Boleh.
So
nak
Assalamualaikum. First thing first, may I know your name and also your role in UTP Sports?
My name is Muhammad Al-Rashad. I am the captain of UTP Steel, and also I have a license in umpiring for netball.
Alright, next question. In your own words, what does playing with integrity mean to you?
I believe playing with integrity, especially for sports, reflects your sportsmanship. Yeah.
That's all. Right, nice. Next question. In UTP sports event, which of these is the most common form of cheating you see? Match fixing or intentional rule breaking?
From my point of view, especially in netball, I think not only in UTP but also in outside events, events that is organized by other parties. Since netball is played with, since netball has umpires, sometimes it can leads to biasness or personal interest. Match fixing is I seldomly see match fixing in netball, but most of the time we see biasness, especially when umpires or organizer have personal interest towards certain teams.
Alright, move to the next question. Alright, now, on a scale 1 to 10, how often do you think cheating happens in a student sports competition?
I think I have a neutral view on this because sometimes I barely see students cheat especially around UTP. But it's just that they usually have lack of sportsmanship. So most of the time, I see people tend to use aggressive power, power abuse, which in netball we call it intentional dangerous play. So sometimes when play or matches gets heated, people tend to get mental and decides to opt for aggressiveness over smart tactical play.
So basically, from scale 1 to 10,
Neutral, 5/10.
5 over 10.
Yes.
Mistake. Okay. Next question. Alright. What is the biggest reason students cheat? Is it to pressure to win, or financial incentive, or a lack of moral awareness?
I believe as athletes, sometimes people tends to cheat mostly because of it goes back to I believe integrity is who you are as a person when no one is looking. So it goes back to who you are as a person. Most of the time, especially in sports, people tend to cheat because of their lack of morality, which are driven by the need to protect their reputation, especially if they especially if they want to soar higher in sports or they want to defend their championship. People will do anything to do that instead of financial incentives, especially in sports.
Okay. Next question. Influence. Do you think teammates have a strong influence on whether a player chooses to cheat?
Interesting question. Again, I personally believe it goes back to who you are as a person. So no matter how or what drives you to cheat or find loopholes in sports, it goes back to what value or principles do you have as a person. So even if someone tries to influence you to cheat, if you have that integrity in you, you shouldn't be influenced by that. So, but I do agree sometimes peer pressure or peer influence can drive you. But again, it goes back to you, to who you are as a person.
Alright. Okay. We have around 6 questions left.
Okay.
Alright, let's start. Okay. Do you agree that one person cheating ruins the fairness of the entire competition for everyone?
Yes, I do agree that if one party or one person cheats, especially if it is allowed by the organizer or by the umpire, other people tends to question the fairness of the game. So if one person is allowed to, for example, intentional breaking the rules repetitively, of course other parties um, will tend to follow their move as well, because if they can, why can't we? Especially if they are being disadvantaged. So it goes back to how the playmaker, or like in this case, for example, umpires, how they control the game, how they control the matches.
Understand. Okay. Good answer. Next question is, does seeing someone cheat in a UTP event make you lose trust in the organizers or the institution?
Yes. I've seen people cheat not only in sports, in exams, and sometimes the what do you call it? Sometimes the invigilator tends to turn a blind eye on that just because they related with themselves as a student, or I once cheated also, so I'm just gonna turn a blind eye on this student. But honestly, that doesn't allow you to do that. So as the invigilator, or even as a person yourself, I believe that if you see someone cheating or someone doing something morally bad, if you just let it be, you're just as morally, you are just as immoral as them because you are an enabler.
Interesting. Ouch. All right, next question. Do you think UTP needs stricter enforcement of rules to stop cheating?
Honestly, I believe UTP has been very good in enforcing students to um, to avoid cheating, to have more integrity, especially during exams, even in their initiatives to promote integrity. So I personally believe UTP have done quite a good job in promoting integrity as a person. It just depends on the student whether they want to practice good morals or not.
Understand. Yes, depend on us. All right, next question. Would having more integrity education programs during sports event help students play fairer? Would having more integrity education program during sports event help students play fairer?
I believe it could help to instill a more fair and competitive, as well as good sportsmanship in students. But I'm not sure if that's effective.
Oh, understand. So you do not prefer this particular idea?
Personally, as an athlete, I don't think someone preaching on me to be fair or to have like to have good sportsmanship during my before. Sorry, okay, I don't think such activities would make students suddenly feel, oh, I have to be I have to play fair, I have to have good sportsmanship. But I think they need to show how having good sportsmanship, or how by playing fair it makes you a good athlete, it makes you a good player, it makes you respectable. So instead of preaching how to, show them what are the effects.
Understand. All right, good answer. Next question. So, okay, second last question. Do activities like this, Walkabout, help you reflect more on the consequences of cheating?
I believe yes. Sometimes as athlete, you don't realize that you've seen or you've tolerated cheating until you understand, or you realize that sometimes like biasness or match fixing is a form of integrity issues in sports. So I believe having a walkabout, or walking through the causes, the effects of cheating in sports helps people to open their eyes, to paint or portray a good picture of what having integrity in sports is.
Alright, next for the next question. In the end, is it more important to win the trophy or to be a credible and respectful athlete?
I believe it is more important to be a more respectable athlete because people don't respect you if you win by cheating, if you win by intentionally hurting others, if you win by finding loopholes in sports, like maybe cheating in rules. People would actually respect you if you show good sportsmanship. Yeah.
Something like that. Friendly and so on.
Not exactly friendly, but if you win by playing by the rules, if you win by your skills, if you win by portraying good sportsmanship, people would actually respect you, even though you lose, I believe. Because I've seen scenarios where we went for competitions and then when we met the organizer team during knockouts and then everyone in the audience can tell that the umpires was so biased towards the organizer team. And at the end of the day, when we eventually lost, other teams, other competitors came to us and congratulated us instead of going to them and even them saying, we know you guys deserve better, we know they were biased. If that tells us like we fought a good fight, even though we didn't win, but we played by the rules, and that's what matters.
I understand. What a great answer. I think that's all for today's interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you.